What is up, pals? How are you guys doing today? Hope and I trust that your day is going well up to this point. It's currently snowing for me, so I actually had a little bit of footage from me going sledding and just running down a hill today. It's a pretty fun day. Had a pretty good day so far, but we're back inside, nice and warm, nice and toasty, and we're gonna go ahead and go over one game that's actually in the Call of Duty World League. Now, this might come as a surprise. You're curious, what exactly is this? Why did I click on this video, or why am I here? Why am I still at this point in the video? And the reason for that is that today's video is we're going to be going over, and I haven't thought of a series name for this, but I kind of want to do so. I'm going to be going over an entire game of just a regular match, only one game out of a best of 5 between FaZe and DT. Now, it'll be different teams, possibly every week. If we decide to do this again, feel free to put down in the comments if you guys like this idea for a series or not. I want to know your guys' opinions on this. We're going to be going through an entire game. It's going to be Breach Hardpoint between FaZe and DT. This is week 2, day 2 of the Call of Duty World League, obviously the NA side, and yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. I'll go over the ban/protects, the rotations, the reason why this map went this way, and so on and so forth. So I just chose a random map. I honestly have no idea what to expect. I mean, I've checked it out a little bit. Like, I remember watching this on stream, and I thought it'd be a good video to use, but there wasn't like anything behind me choosing this game specifically. So I think it'd be kind of a cool thing. I've been watching a lot of games, and I've kind of considered myself to be more of an analyst this year, and I think that I know a crazy amount more in Black Ops 3 than I ever did in Advanced Warfare or even Ghosts. But yeah, so let's go and hop into today's video. Like I said, feel free, keep an open mind, and let me know what you guys think about this series as it kind of moves on, and maybe even put like a title, like what the video name should be in the comments as well, because I'm going to be trying to think of a name, and I'm going to need some help. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Let's hop into the video for today between FaZe and DT. Let's get into it. Alright, so first things first, right before we get ready to hop into the actual game, is obviously what happens before every competitive match is the ban and protect, and also the specialist draft. We're going to hop into, obviously, the ban and protect, and I'm going to have the list out for you guys so you guys can see what exactly happened in this game. So, looks like we have the Vesper, the Shiva, Rapid Fire, High Caliber, Flashbang, Kinetic Armor, Concussion, and an HCXD car. So the first 4 pretty standard. I mean, you're going to see that those 2 weapons, the Vesper and the Shiva, primarily banned. You might see the M8, get involved every once in a while or something crazy like that. But besides that, the Vesper, Shiva, not anything out of the ordinary. Neither is Rapid Fire or High Caliber. You kind of want to, minute those 2, make sure they're not going to be in the game. Flashbangs, very useful, obviously, when it comes to the game like Black Ops 3. It completely stuns you. It's definitely the best tactical to use when it comes to that. EMP is kind of considered to be in that same situation, but you're normally going to see something like a Concussion, which would be used, but you're also going to see that as banned as well. And taking a look at some other 2 picks, which I think are kind of interesting, is Clayster banning out the HCXD car, and I believe the Kinetic Armor, which is banned out by Attach. Now, the reason why I mentioned the Kinetic Armor, obviously because it is a specialist, you're not going to see a specialist normally get banned out too often. It does happen from time to time, obviously, as we do have it in this game. Kinetic Armor is actually used by Attach, and from what I've studied from Dream Team watching their playstylers, there's not really one player who uses that one primarily. To me, maybe it was supposed to be a Protect. I'm not really sure. It could have been just a normal ban, but as far as I'm looking at what normally DT runs with, they usually have something like the Scythe, Heat Wave, and Active Camo, the Annihilator, and another Heat Wave. So, I mean, that's just kind of like how their style kind of goes. That's just kind of how it looks out. So, kind of interesting that the Kinetic Armor was banned, and obviously Clayster getting rid of those HCXD cards, which can be very, very annoying to play against. Definitely, I think, honestly, whenever you kind of ban the HCXD card, it's kind of like a mini ban for that Flak Jacket. Flak Jacket becomes basically useless in this game due to the fact because you have flashbangs out, you have concussions out, and you also have HCXD cards, which basically are your only thing that's going to kind of combat you when it comes to Flak Jacket. You're running that, and also Tactic Mask. So that's kind of interesting to see. So anything out of the ordinary for this ban and protect, and now we're getting ready to hop into the specialist draft between these 2. Alrighty, guys, now we're in the specialist draft, obviously between FaZe and Dream Team. Take a look at the side of FaZe. First, you're going to see there's actually Zuma picks up that Scythe, Enable with the Heat Wave, Attached with Active Camo, and Clayster with the Purifier. Now, nothing really too out of the ordinary for this team. I think FaZe honestly kind of has the traditional, type of specialist for this map, regardless of what would normally be Kinetic Armor, has been substituted for Active Camo, which is obviously what Attach has. If you see anything but Heat Wave come out of Enable, I want you to screenshot it and send it to me on Twitter. Link in the description to my Twitter. If you see him use anything other than that, I will be massively surprised, and I will give you something in return. I'm not sure what it'll be. But either way, Scythe going from Zuma, not at all surprised. He's kind of that statue type of AR. He likes to run around the map, but also likes to get kills. That's where he's most useful at, and can kind of get 3 or 4 down easily at different times. And also Clayster rocking the Purifier. It kind of just depends for Clayster. I'm looking at my notes really quick. He usually in past has ran something like Vision Pulse or even Active Camo for himself, as he's trying to set up his teammates for a little bit more success. And it looks like they've kind of found the Purifier in mind. This map is obviously designed basically for the Purifier, whether it's middle box, whether it's shack, bottom control, whatever it really may be, or bottom lab. It is perfect for this map, and I've seen a lot of teams kind of slowly kind of progressively kind of make their way over to have that purifier there as well. But taking a look over at the DT side, it looks like we're going to have active camo for Happy, the Annihilator for Cinder, Chino with the purifier, and Diabolic with the Heatwave. So first off, Diabolic with Heatwave, not all surprised. He's kind of like that entry fragger, similar to how Heatwave works for Enable. Obviously, it's the same thing. And also Chino grabbing the purifier. That's kind of interesting as well. And Chino is more of a scythe type of player. He usually runs a scythe for the most part. He's very talented with it. Just got to get kills. And that's the thing in Advanced Warfare I was so mad about. It was because he was, kind of tied down to playing that support, kind of playing that objective role. And I just wanted him to get out of his shell and just start slaying. And that's how he kind of did it at the beginning of Advanced Warfare. And I hope that he continues on in Black Ops 3 with the same type of playstyle. Annihilator for Cinder, that's pretty normal. Like a player similar to JCap, formal at times, who like to run those Annihilators. Definitely kind of fits his playstyle as well. And you're going to have Happy, rocking the active camo. In some people's minds, the active camo could be one of the best specialists to use because obviously you do kind of, in some ways, get camoed off the map. You can still kind of see a small outline, but it definitely kind of catches you off guard and kind of works similar to a heat wave in the fact that it kind of stuns you or catches you and you kind of have an advantage over the other player inside of the hill. So that's going to do it for the specialist draft. Let's go and get ready to hop into game number 1 between FaZe and Dream Team here at Breach Hardpoint. Alrighty guys, so we're now obviously in this first game. Something that I want to take note, obviously, is the fact that FaZe does have early spawns here, which is really going to be good for them overall, because obviously if you do spawn on that big door side, you're going to be the first team to kind of enter inside of a hill, which is obviously very key. Now, Dream Team actually had a 2-man split. They sent 2 through middle, and obviously one to kind of combat that player coming from stairs, and Attach won that gunfight along with Glacier, which is big. And now what you're going to see out of Attach, he's going to rush through this top stairs, which is very important because he's already thinking about that rotation, trying to make sure that those guys are out of that spawn so they can kind of flip. So, in a way, whenever FaZe is coming toward Palace, they're trying to flip so that they're facing DT head on that way, coming from where their previous spawn was, so that they can have spawns for the next hard point. I know that was a long, sentence as well, but either way, he's going to find, I think actually one player's going to be sitting up top ACs, which shows that DT played pretty passively off the start. That's obviously led to why FaZe is having a lot of success overall. Now, Glacier's going to be coming from that back lab spawn as well. I believe he's coming from back lab spawn, I'm pretty sure. And he's going to be just doing his work, trying to find some early kills in middle, trying to hold off DT for those later spawns for his team, and just make sure that, his team has an easy time, just grabbing hill time overall. You're going to see Zuma kind of replicate the same thing, at about maybe 20, 18, 15 seconds. Around that time, you're going to see him kind of get ready to rotate, but he's playing very, very aggressive. He wants to kind of push these guys out, make sure they're not coming from Greenhouse, and he's going to do that pretty well, as FaZe are most likely going to get those rotations here in just a second. So this is a big play, actually, from Attach. Now, Attach is going to have that AR. He's sitting in the back, making sure his team has spawns, and he's also going to watch that flank for his team as they get ready to rotate here over into Shaq. Now, Glacier is going to be one of those players to do so, and he's going to catch, I believe, one player at least here from that middle bio side. Coming from middle box, and now I think Glacier actually gets shut down by Cinder, so you guys can kind of see that. And now this is Attach's opportunity. If you can shut these 2 players down, this is so big for the fact that DT got a little bit of scrap time, not too much at all, as you're going to see it's 45-9, but this is a big time here. This is Attach's way of kind of silencing these players and making sure that his team has uncontested time, as he's going to drop, I believe, 1 here, and I think he has a little bit of shaky shots, and he ends up falling, unfortunately. So either way, he ends up getting shut down, but you're going to see Zuma's there immediately for the trade, and he actually gets dropped, so that's kind of interesting. Cinder with 2 big kills, and now able to kind of hopefully drop this player. FaZe wants even more seconds as he ends up getting that one. Another thing as well, as this hill kind of commences on, I guess you could say, a DT kind of spawning out, trying to at least pinch in some way, is the fact of how quickly that heat wave and also overdrive replicate. If you get in the hill, you get a couple kills, that heat wave is back on, and that's incredible how many times you can actually get the heat wave. Something definitely to note. So you're going to see those rotations coming in, DT grabbing a little bit of those scrap seconds as well, yet again, where FaZe has held it in the beginning, and now you're going to see that they're getting it again. So it's obviously, we're going to have that rotation over to middle box, and Attach is already trying to shut down these players inside of Palace. And a typical play that you'll see in something like Uplink is you'll try to see players that are primarily in the lead try to get a team in that back Palace spawn, or spawn trap, I guess you could say, because of how deadly it really is. And Enable is having an easy time. His team is basically slaying on everyone and rocking the heat wave. He's going to find a nice kill there as well. And oh god, that was absolutely fantastic what he just did there. That's another issue, as they are spawning back door now, is FaZe, which is good for them for that next spawn over at Greenhouse. But that's a big thing too, is, coming into this game, DT realizes they're not the slaying powerhouse that FaZe is. You have to nail them down with rotations, you have to get the clutch kills, use your specialist effectively, and obviously beat them when it comes to the ban/protect system, which, hasn't really happened as of yet, and Enable's trying to find some kills. That doesn't happen for him either, and you're going to see them get ready to line up for that next rotation as well. Yet again, Dream Team getting those scrap seconds, but it's kind of led them to a little bit of a comeback. They're going to get, I believe, maybe these last 8 seconds. There's one player coming from behind him that might not allow that. So 3 seconds over to FaZe. I mean, still Dream Team getting a couple seconds, and you're going to see Attach. He's in a very good spot here because he's watching that flank obviously coming from Palace, from middle box, so they're making their way all the way around toward Greenhouse, which is where obviously the hill's getting ready to rotate, and Attach is watching this flank. Now, if he gets these kills, this is really big for him because he can maybe even shut down those players, force them to spawn in Palace, or maybe even force them to spawn all the way back toward ACs, which would give them an immense amount of points and an immense amount of seconds as well. He also has active camo in use too. And I believe he's going to find this kill. So he at least got one of them. That's a big play from him, as he's going to go ahead and make sure that they are not spawning back there. And Zuma, also watching over in construction, is able to drop one there also. So a pretty big stack up here for FaZe. This is, I mean, normal play for them, as you're going to see all players from DT just trying to run in as quick as they can and enable up top, you know, either with an AR or even in search and destroy when you're watching over construction. This is a very typical play for an AR or, you know, just a sniper in general to kind of hang at. And from bottom, from top, it doesn't matter. FaZe is watching every single angle, constantly calling out. And FaZe has fantastic communication as well, which makes them even better. And I believe Enable ends up getting this kill, but also kills Clayster in the end. So that's kind of unfortunate for Clayster to drop, but it doesn't matter because FaZe is getting those spawns. They're constantly rotating players in and out to kind of, you know, have those. So one big thing, that I think one of the biggest parts over on this map, is the fact that we do go from Greenhouse all the way over to middle lab, which is going to force FaZe, who are coming off of that rotation, getting those scrap seconds, to now rotate, giving DT a little bit of an advantage. Now, you can see DT is actually rotated early. They have those rotations down, and that is such a big kill from Attach, because if he doesn't get that kill, you can kind of see, there's looking at the minimap, so look in that left corner for a second. That Attach got that kill, it now frees up so many different opportunities for FaZe to push in, because now they have a 3-2 advantage. Now, granted, that player's getting ready to spawn back up, but he grabs that kill. He's already a nuisance from stairs. So those players of DT are constantly worrying about that player coming from stairs, coming from back lab, no matter what. And he also has 2 teammates off on that left side to kind of come in through side door, and he also has a player over inside Palace to make sure those rotations are down as well. So that's a really big play for him to win that gunfight, especially because now DT are kind of a little bit worried. They don't know exactly where they're coming from, and I believe Clayster actually pulls out his Purifier here in just a second as well, which is going to be even worse. So they have 2 different entry points, but they don't know anything is going to happen, and this is just a perfect play. Whether he gets kills or not, it's just the fact that he's back there. They know he's back there, and he's staying alive. That is so big. So while DT are getting seconds, that's great for them. I mean, they're worried about it, and I think Clayster actually gets that kill. So that's a big play from him. They also have spawns as well, which sets them up perfectly for this hill, and is going to make DT spawn out through middle, and they're going to yet again grab a lot more seconds. So Clayster, I believe, is already going to go and be on that rotation, which is always key. You know, rotating around 15 to 20 seconds is big, and those players inside the middle box for Dream Team are trying to shut down that middle to make sure they can kind of rush that win in. So 3 players come out. Clayster's going to pick up one, tries to find the second. He ends up getting shut down, and now they're going to be spawning over in Greenhouse. And this is kind of an interesting play from Zuma, and I can't remember, I can't actually see who the other player was, but Diabolic actually kills his teammate, and now Attach kind of responds as well. So another little bit of issues for Dream Team, as they're just trying to get seconds, and you could not afford to have team kills like that at all. I mean, that's just not called for, and doesn't help you guys. So DT is doing pretty good work here. They got to watch, they got to force that spawn out near Broken Door, and it's not really happening. Cinder's still spawning near bottom lab, and they're going to force their way through here yet again. So this is a good play from DT. This is really what they needed in the first hill, as that was a big kill from Enable as well, because he's going to snag down some of those seconds too. But either way, you know, DT needs to force their way through. They need to have a player through middle, which is exactly why they can't, because Clayster's there. He ends up dropping. That's a big key as well. You know, sitting over on middle box is going to be a big key. Those rotations getting ready to come in, and that's what Clayster was there for. Clayster was there to get a kill, top ACs. Once he got that kill, and if, say, his teammates got those kills inside of Palace, that was going to spawn them out, all 3 of them there. And now Clayster's coming from wall run to kind of combat what would be for this next hill, and he's going to get shut down from behind, unfortunately, there for him. But either way, 200 points now to 98, and FaZe's lead is obviously currently rising. This is a big play from Dream Team. They're going to have to hold these down. This is where Attach was similar earlier in this same gunfight. You know, granted, Cinder's pushed up a little bit farther. He still has spawns, so it doesn't really matter too much. But this is such a big gunfight. He ends up losing this one, and he should really have won that, but he doesn't. And obviously, this is going to allow the FaZe to kind of come from the back, get those spawns, as Cinder's going to have another opportunity, and I'm looking toward the kill feed to see if he ends up getting any kills there, and I believe he ends up getting shut down for a second time. We're going to see Cinder in the kill feed yet again, not being able to hold off that back, Attach dropping from the front, and now Dream Team can at least get a couple seconds here, but like I said, it's so hard to hold against FaZe because they're constantly pushing at you. Their communication is so on point, and when it comes to slang, I mean, FaZe is always going to dominate you. So it's just kind of unfortunate. Clayster watching the back, and also through middle bio, or not middle bio, what am I saying? Through middle and bottom lab as he ends up falling. So this is a good play to FaZe. I mean, they're only 30 seconds away at this point. I mean, even when you're commentating, you kind of know when a game's over. And I mean, while in this game, it's a lot harder for people to come back. I mean, it's a lot easier for teams to come back. It's not as, time heavy. I mean, at this point, I mean, it's basically over. How well the slang has really kind of paid off for FaZe. And I mean, it's just kind of been a bloodbath up to this point. Looking at the kills, 24 and 10 for Enable, 24 and 14 for Clayster, and 26 and 19 for Zuma. Having that edge, especially when it comes to that Scythe, and also Clayster getting ready to earn that Purifier. But it doesn't really matter. Say he ends up getting the Purifier, which I don't think he actually does. I say that middle box is what I call a Purifier's paradise, because it's literally a box. You can turn on your sensitivity and start spinning around, and you're gonna have a load of free time and also get a lot of kills toward your score streaks. And that's going to do it for the game. So 250 to 125. You can see in the kill cam or the kill feed, it was all really FaZe for the most part, and that was just kind of unfortunate for Dream Team. So one thing to kind of note from that game, as far as analysis point of view, was the fact that every time, and the first two hard points on Breach are so important, because you can get, 60, 70 seconds is not at all strange for the first couple hard points if you're doing it right, if you're holding it effectively. And honestly, it was just kind of unfortunate that whenever Dream Team was trying to hold that back spawn, honestly, they just got slayed out. And that's the hard part. That's the hard part about commentating and providing an analysis for games, is that, well, this team's slayed out. That's why they won. And it's as bare bones as that sounds, it's absolutely true. But it's the little things that you notice during a game that make it so important. So, with that, obviously, FaZe ends up winning this game. They would later on, I think, the 3-1 the series. I'm not sure how the Search and Destroy, the CTF, and the Uplink went. But honestly, the Game 5 did not happen as FaZe, kind of continue on. And I believe they're still currently undefeated in the Call of Duty Pro League, so that's obviously very good for them. And that's going to kind of do it for the game overall. Taking a look at the final scorecard here, 27-11, one of the top fraggers for FaZe. Enable, obviously the Heatwave guy said the entry fragger. He held a lot of time back in Shaq, and as well, being Zuma, who got a lot of time as well. Attach, actually, going 15 and 15, not his strongest game, but if he was constantly calling out, watching those spawns, as well toward back lab, that was obviously very key for his team. And honestly, looking at some of the plays over from Enable, like I said, 2 minutes and 17 seconds in the hill. That's exactly what you want out of a player who's using Heatwave, who's using it effectively, and that all was kind of tailored to the slang that FaZe was able to do. A major play also from objective players is the fact that a lot of people think that, objective players don't really have that many gun engagements. Well, that's not really true, to be honest, and I hate to say that, but it's not really true. I think, honestly, the gunfights that an objective player wins are so key, because he could be in a 1v2, 1v3 situation at sometimes where he just has to hold off, at least stay alive, maybe push out from that hard point, maybe kind of rotate around, wait for his teammates to enter in, team pushes. A number of different things that the objective player has to have in his mind, rather than just slay, or push this out, push that out, holding back, getting seconds, and obviously being on those rotations, as where FaZe kind of trampled over Dream Team as well. But either way, only one player even getting close to that 20 kills mark was obviously Cinder, and 12, 14, and 12 kills there out of Dream Team. So guys, that's going to do it for today's video. We can obviously go a lot more in depth. I could have talked a little bit more about the teams and stuff, and how the hosting was done. I wasn't actually sure who was hosting this game. I'm pretty sure it was FaZe, but I'm not really sure, to be honest with you, about that. So guys, if you guys did enjoy this video, feel free to let me know down in the comments. If you guys just like this video overall, make sure to leave a like. And like I said, put down in the comments if you guys, like I said, like this series or have an idea for what this series could be called. I was thinking something like along the lines of like, Call of Duty World League Reels or something like that, where it'd be kind of cool, but it's like a clever name or something for this series, and I'll definitely give you credit, as well. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video yet again. I'll see you all in the next one. Have a fantastic day, and until next time, peace out.